Your morning in 8 minutes, and we're getting you ready to get out the door this morning.
Yeah, let's bring in First Alert meteorologist Sydney Sullivan as she gets us started with your First Alert forecast.
Well, we are kicking off our Tuesday with a few scattered showers, especially moving through parts of Madisonville and upwards towards Maryville. So you might be dealing with occasional shower or storm on and off throughout this morning. A better chance for a little bit more scattered activity will develop as we move on into this afternoon. So some of the big things that we are watching, rain chances really beginning to ramp on up this afternoon, moving on into tomorrow, potentially lingering on into Thursday. But that'll keep our temperatures near normal to slightly below average. And enjoy that, because by this weekend, temperatures back near 90 degrees. Good news is it's coming with a lot of sunshine. So we will see some improvements in the forecast, and I'll have a closer look in your First Alert forecast coming up.
All right, Sydney, thank you.
Well, this morning we're taking another look at how you can keep your children safe online.
Social media is changing so quickly, it's hard to keep up. But of course, safety top priority. Let's bring in our Aaron Rogers. Aaron, you've been speaking with the experts. You've been looking into this. What do you have for us?
Yeah, our Olivia Calfee actually broke down the new Instagram map feature yesterday in our First Alert Center. But now I'm taking a closer look at those exact settings that you want to have. Now, as a refresher, the new feature on Instagram allows users to see others' exact location. Now, there's multiple different settings for what you can share, but one way to easily make sure it's off is you go to your settings, you go to privacy and security, then you go to your location services, and it's got all of your apps that show location. You're going to click Instagram. Then you've got options for which one you want. Make sure Instagram never sees your location, so that is an option. But you want to keep in mind that this feature is also seen on other apps such as Snapchat, so you want to make sure to be aware of what apps your kids are using as well as what apps you're using to make sure your location settings, that can all be found in that privacy and security location services settings on your phone.
Yeah, it helps to see it all laid out. That's really helpful, Aaron. Thank you.
Well, this morning the search is on for a man who's wanted. Dandridge police say this man, Steve Alexander, is wanted in connection with multiple warrants. They say if you see him, call the number on your screen or 911. Any tips will be kept confidential. Well, East Tennesseans continue to step up to help folks in Texas.
Knoxville police helping search for flood victims after their flooding. A nonprofit reached out to their K-9 team asking for help, trying to bring a family some peace. They are looking for the last missing person from Camp Mystic. The team spent 10 days in Texas. The girl they were looking for is still sadly missing. There is also one more person missing about a month after the flood. Tennessee State Senator Ken Yeager is now on probation after pleading no contest to DUI charges in Georgia.
Last year, Yeager was charged with DUI, hit and run, and failing to stop at a stop sign. The court says Yeager pled no contest to DUI while the other charges were dismissed. Senator Yeager sentenced to 12 months probation, a fine of $750, and 40 hours of community service. His license now suspended. He must attend DUI school. Well, another update this morning in the back and forth between the U.S. and China.
This time it's for how much it will cost for goods to move between the two countries. An executive order President Donald Trump issued last night delays a self-imposed deadline for a new deal for another 3 months. So for Americans, 30% tariffs against China mostly impacts our clothes, our shoes. China confirms its duties on U.S. imports will stay about 10% instead of climbing up to 34%. China is America's second largest source of imports. Hey, if you bought a Powerball ticket in Pigeon Forge for Saturday's drawing, you may want to check it. A $50,000 winner was sold at the Fast Stop Market on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge. The ticket matched 4 numbers plus the Powerball. You have 180 days to claim that prize. This morning, TWRA is out with a reminder to be extra careful out on the water.
Yeah, this warning comes after a severe injury on Norris Lake over the weekend. TWRA says someone who was kneeboarding fell into the water. Then when the boat came around to try and get him, the propeller hit their foot and leg. It's the 9th propeller injury in Tennessee this year. TWRA saying propeller strikes are almost always preventable, saying boaters should shut off the engine when swimmers are nearby and always use a spotter. Well, remember last Monday, the Vols were ranked 18th in the coaches poll?
Well, the AP writers had their say, and at least early on, a little bit of a different thought there. Tennessee coming in at number 24. The Vols, of course, lost some key pieces on defense. They're trying to figure out that QB position, but they were a playoff team last year, and they are bringing back a number of talented players. Some other interesting poll placements for the first time ever. Texas, preseason number 1. Penn State number 2, Ohio State coming in at 3. Coaches say the Buckeyes coming in, the coaches had them in at number 2. The Vols are one of 10 teams in the top 25 coming out of the SEC.
Well, more than 1 year after they lost their daughter in a head-on crash, a family's push for change is happening. Now, when you drive on Schaefer Road, you're going to see those changes. We're talking more flashing signs reminding drivers to slow down, also reflectors and rumble strips down the center line. Safety tools you can see and hear to make sure you stay in your lane. Knox County's chief engineer saying they're looking for roads that are hot spots for crashes every year. If you have concern over a certain area in your neighborhood, you can report it to the county's public works team. We have the link to submit a request inside your WVLT News app. Someone has been charged with DUI in that crash. 6:55, Olivia, how's traffic looking out on the roads?
You know, guys, we're starting to see more people heading out the door. Nothing we're not used to, though. But morning commute hotspots, certainly seeing the cars. I-75 at Merchant Drive. We're actually cameras facing north right now and not seeing any major issues. Could see a little bit of congestion starting to pick up in those southbound lanes as you get closer to 640, but nothing major. 640 west of downtown, you can see all the cars in the westbound lanes there. Hall of Fame Drive, east and westbound lanes moving. So right now we're up to speed.
Thank you, Olivia, keeping us on track for our road conditions. And I will say the good news is we're not dealing with a whole lot of rainfall necessarily the first part of the day. Yes, you will be seeing some here or there, especially south of Knoxville. But for the time being, we are going to continue to see some scattered showers, a few heavy downpours possible during the afternoon and evening. And we'll continue this unsettled weather pattern as we head into the next 24 to 36 hours. So that will be a little bit more moisture in the forecast for us, but the good news is it's keeping our temperatures a little bit below average, topping out in the mid to upper 80s. And then we'll start to see our temperatures ramp back up for the weekend with more sunshine, though.
Thank you, Sydney.
Yeah, not that bad looking of a forecast. Thanks for joining us for WVLT News this morning on WVLT.